Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here, today giving you an OU tier Pokemon Showdown battle. And this is actually a team made by my boy, Watercolors, and he's also known by Pat P, and yeah, those are his usernames on Pokemon Showdown. So yeah, a big shout out to him for making this fantastic team. Now let me tell you a little bit about this amazing team. I have a Choice Banded T-Tar, a rather defensive Lando with Stealth Rock, a Scarf Garchomp, an Expert Belt Rotom Wash, a Sashed Alakazam, and a specially defensive Heatran. Now, looking at his team, I don't see too much I'm really worried about, as even if Salamence is Scarfed, I've got a Scarf Garchomp, so I can counter that pretty well. Gliscor might be a bit annoying, as it's going to be one of the most annoying walls in the game, of course, and so I'm going to figure out how to take that down. Donphan's just a spinner. I'm not too worried about that. I have plenty of pokes to take it on. Jolteon's a big special threat, but yeah, like I said, I have many things to take it, especially Garchomp and even Sashed Alakazam. And then he has a Celebi, which might be a bit annoying, although I have U-Turn and a bunch of really strong threats that could harm that Celebi. And then finally, Blissey. But what's wonderful about this team is I have so many counters to Blissey, like Banded T-Tar and Psyshock on Alakazam, and then Scarfed Garchomp. Yeah, there's so many things to take it on. So yeah, kudos to you Watercolors for making an amazing team, and let's see how this battle goes. So I start with my Rotom Wash just to scout out a bit, and he does start out with this Celebi, and I do carry the Signal Beam, and it does a nice chunk, but for being max special attack, that is certainly a specially defensive Celebi, as most are. Now he probably wasn't thinking that I was Expert Belted, so I did go for the Volt Switch, as I do get the crit, which is a little unfortunate. But yeah, this Salamence now dies from Rough Skin. But the thing was with Garchomp, I didn't want to lock myself into Outrage, so I went for the Stone Edge and unfortunately missed. But yeah, now I bring in my Lando, I can get up my rocks, but then this Gliscor comes in. And I probably should have seen this coming. I probably should have picked a different poke to switch out into. But yeah, here the problem is this is a sub-protect toxic Gliscor, and probably Earthquake for just attacking. But yeah, basically the problem is if this thing keeps its substitute up, it has a guaranteed toxic on me and then can just stall me out for a while. So here I knew pretty much that he was going to switch out into Blissey, but I didn't want to overpredict as I didn't want him to have a free sub up, so my Rotom Wash does go down with that Blissey in there. So I do bring out T-Tar, and a Banded Superpower is going to do a huge chunk to anything, as it does do a nice chunk on that Donphan. Now I bring out Lando just to get the Intimidate off, and I do carry the HP Ice. So that's going to do a pretty nice chunk, being super effective and on his very weak, specially defensive side. So one more hit will be fine to take out this Donphan, and I do take it out now. So my Landorus is definitely kind of taking its toll from that toxic, which is a bit of a problem. But yeah, I'm just going to basically leave it in as death fodder and try to get as much damage on this Blissey as possible. I find it a little weird that he brought in Blissey here compared to like Gliscor for just stalling out, as Earthquake still does a nice chunk. But yeah, he is able to soft-boiled stall me. But yeah, basically he didn't lose too much from that. Now I bring in my T-Tar here, and honestly, I didn't care for the superpower, knowing Gliscor would probably come in, so I go for the Stone Edge. And here is a situation. This is basically the game right here. If I kind of miss the Stone Edge too many times, he will have a free sub up, and then he can just Toxic Stall anything, plus my Heatran would die from Earthquake. So basically, I just need to make sure that this Gliscor does not have a sub, so I can come in with my Alakazam and go for the HP Ice. So right now he doesn't have a sub, and he did go for the Earthquake to do some damage on me earlier, so that's good. What I guess he doesn't realize is since I'm banded, I only have 8 Stone Edges, so if he stalled me out a little bit longer, he probably could have won the game just through stalling. But since he doesn't, and he makes himself very vulnerable without the sub, I can go for the HP Ice and take him out. Now since I'm sashed, I am not worried at all about dying from this T-Bolt, even though it's Life Orb, so I do take him out with the Psyshock. Now all that's left is this Blissey, and he could have potentially soft-boiled stalled me, but I guess he didn't know how much damage he would do. So the Psyshock does bring him down to where Lava Plume can take out this Blissey. So now it's just one-on-one against Celebi. And this is an interesting set on this Celebi, as it is Calm Mind, and he does live the Lava Plume here, and he does get burned, but the thing is, he could have potentially stalled me out and made this a much longer game, as I could have Toxic stalled him, but yeah, unfortunately the Lava Plume got the automatic burn. But nonetheless, he does just go for the Calm Mind, knowing he doesn't really want to stall out here, and that will be the 1-0 victory. So that was an amazing battle, Real720. Yeah, he said he didn't think this battle was that great, but personally I thought it was pretty good. It was a little bit of hacks, and honestly it came down to the wire at the end, and it could have been even closer than it was. So yeah. Now, like I said earlier, big shout out to Watercolors for making this team for me. It is amazing. And well, if any of you want to also make a team for me, I would gladly consider using it, and I'll definitely test it out, and if I like it, I'll definitely upload a battle with it. And yeah, if you want me to give you a shout out for that, awesome, I'll totally do that. And it's definitely important to give me some teams now if you'd want to, since I have my new computer and I don't really have teams at the moment, so making teams right now for me is definitely appreciated. So yeah, guys, thanks. Also, I got some comments yesterday about the layout. You do like the layout, and some people don't like the sides. So if I do have time during the weekend or something, I'll try making the sides a little bit, a bit more appealing. And honestly, if you guys would be willing, if any of you would be willing to make me sides that would be a bit more appealing, I'd definitely appreciate it. I'd be sure to give you a shout out if you request it. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later. Peace.